Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Jack the StrokeMan and I am going to try something kind of bold for me. Something new. Um, I used to be a private pilot, but since my stroke, I've not been able to fly. But I've recently decided, you know what? I'm going to get myself a cheap Windows laptop and I'm going to get myself a cheap joystick, and I'm going to install some open source free flight simulator software, and I'm going to see if I can't learn how to fly my laptop. The stroke left me somewhat physically impaired. My right side arm and leg do not function the way they should. My arm specifically is pretty useless. So there's no way the FAA would let me fly a real plane. And even though my stroke was 14 years ago, back in 2010, it's taken me this long to realize that, you know what, I think I would like to fly again. And it might not be for real. It might not be up in the air and in the northeast corner of the United States, but it could be just as much fun. This is what I want to try. I welcome you guys to join me. And really, honestly, I am just starting. I spent maybe 2 days trying to get everything working so that the joystick would be recognized. And I had to like downgrade the software to like an older version. And then just trying to get this stupid software for recording video for YouTube to work the way I needed it to has taken like forever as well. But I'm brand new at this, and I am welcoming you to join me and follow along and see how I do, right? I have no idea how I'm going to do. I presume I'm going to be wobbling down the runway. I might run off the runway. I'm absolutely certain I'm going to crash a few times, but guess what? It's not a real airplane. It's my computer. So I'm not going to get hurt. And if I crash, I'll just start over and try again. My hope is that over time, I will get actually quite good at it. I am going to use this software in a way that really truly simulates learning how to fly for real. You'll see I've picked the Cessna 172 aircraft, which comes with a slew of tutorials that teach you how to do things. Unlike driving a car, you don't just hop in and go. An airplane is really serious. If something goes wrong up in the air, you might not survive. So there's lots of checklists, things that you need to do before you fly, things that you need to do in order to start the engine correctly, things you need to do to take off right, things you got to do to land correctly. It's no joke. And that's what I'm going to use this software for, to truly learn again how to fly. I have not been behind the yoke of an airplane in 15 or 16 years. I have forgotten so much that I've got to learn all over again. So come with me on this journey. If you want to join and install this software and play too, that would be absolutely fantastic. That is actually the motivation behind this, to say, hey, I've had this event in my life, but I can still do some things and I can still have fun. And if maybe you're similar to me, maybe you too, can fly a computer, give it a go. This could be like a lot of fun. Today, I'm not even going to fly. Today, I'm just going to get us all introduced to this thing. This is a Cessna 172 airplane. You're sitting in the cockpit with me. We're looking down the runway. And because it's designed to be a trainer, it also has tutorials. And these tutorials are really good at taking you through step by step what you need to do at each step of the game. So pre-flight. Today, I'm not even going to start this airplane. I'm not going to fly this airplane. I'm just going to go through the checklist that's
Welcome to Hilo
required to make
Airport.
sure
In
it
this
is
lesson, we
safe
will
and
check the
sound
condition
and
of our
ready to fly.
aircraft.
This tutorial, it's got a co-pilot, so
First, we'll check the cockpit, and after that, we will walk around the aircraft.
she'll talk to us and she'll tell us what to do each step of the way. It is actually quite cool. It's a little synthetic, the voice,
Verify
but
that the
it's
pilot
good.
operating handbook is available in the cockpit.
Unlike your car, you better have the handbook with you at all times.
Remove the control lock if it is present.
And this guy just locks the
If there
yoke
is a
so it
control
can't
lock, you
move.
need to remove it so that you can move the yoke.
Right? While your airplane is parked, if a gust of wind comes up, you don't want it like, flinging your rudder and your ailerons around, but you got to get rid of that lock so that you
The
can fly.
parking brake has to be set lever points down.
Like your car, it does have a parking brake, but
The
you want to make sure
magneto
it's
switch
down.
ignition must be off.
To start it, you have magnetos, a left, a
The
right, and a
avionics power
both.
switch must be off too.
You want to make sure they're off. You want to make sure your radios and
Switch
your
the battery
navigation
on.
system is all off. The battery, I think
We
she
now
told
want
me.
to check the fuel level, so you have to switch the battery on.
Exactly. You got to turn
Check
the battery
fuel
on just
level to see
temporarily.
whether there is enough fuel available for your planned flight.
This plane has two tanks, a left tank and a right tank. They're in the wings, and we do not have very much
Switch the
fuel in
battery
either
off
one.
again.
So I better fill them up before I fly.
The fuel selector valve has to be set to both.
Like I said, there's two tanks, left, right, but if you set it to
We're
both,
finished with
the
checking
plane
the
will
cockpit.
equally
Now let's step out and inspect the exterior.
drain fuel from each side to keep the weight in balance.
Open the door.
All right, let's step outside.
Open the door.
I am. Have some patience. I only have one arm.
Close the door.
Okay.
Close the door.
So we'll walk around the outside, make sure things are ready to go, and take off the tie downs and the other protective gear that is on the plane. And we'll make sure we're ready to go. Okay. I think she's thinking.
Baggage door closed and locked.
So you could put baggage in the back of the plane, but you also have this door, this compartment outside that you get to by a door on the outside. You want to make sure that's closed and locked.
Beacon light OK. Check elevator for freedom of movement by clicking on it.
You don't want that door coming
Check
open
the
while you're
elevator
flying.
by clicking on it.
You check the fuselage, make sure there's no dents or anything. And if you actually click on the elevator,
Rudder. Check for freedom of movement by clicking on it.
actually, you want to make sure these things are free to move, that there's no binding, the cables are not hung up anywhere.
Remove the rear tie down.
And of course, you want to protect your plane if a
Right
gust of
aileron.
wind
Check for
comes. You don't
freedom
want
of
to
movement by
fly
clicking on
and
it.
flipping over, so you tie it down, and you need to untie it before you fly. Ailerons, same thing. Just tap on them, make
Right
sure
wing,
they
not damaged.
are
Stroke
free.
and red nav light OK.
Check the wing
OK.
for damage. Make sure that whoever used this plane before you didn't run into
Remove the
a
right
building.
tie down.
And again, there are 3 tie
You
downs.
have to remove the tie down, or you can't fly away.
Yep, exactly. If you don't take them
Right
off,
main
you're
wheel,
not going
tire
anywhere.
pressure OK. No leaking brake fluid.
You don't need a tire pressure gauge. You're really just visually
You have to
inspecting
check
it,
if the
making
fuel
sure
is
it's not
contaminated
low,
with
it's not
water.
soft,
Take
it's
a
not
fuel
flat.
sample. To prevent the engine from failing, the fuel must not contain any water. You have to take a sample of the fuel.
Okay, we take a sample.
If the sample is light blue, the fuel isn't contaminated and you can return it to the tank. If it's transparent, it's contaminated. You have to discard it. The fuel is light blue. You can return the sample to the tank.
And this
Return the
is
sample to
pretty
the
simple,
tank.
right? If you're in a car and you got water in your fuel, okay, you pull over to the side of the road. If you're in an airplane at 5,000 feet and your engine dies, you're in trouble. So you check it every single time.
Check the oil level.
Same thing. When was the last time you checked the oil in your car? Right? But in a plane, you better be checking the oil every single time because you
The oil
can't
level is good. Close the oil door.
risk an engine failure. So it takes 7 quarts. We're almost at full, and the engine oil is good. So we're good to go. We can close the door.
Remove the cowl plugs.
Yeah. This is a gas
You
engine,
must
just like in
remove
your
the cowl
car.
plugs.
And it has a radiator, just like in your car, to take air through it to cool it off. But these intakes that bring air around the engine, you don't want a bird moving in and create, and making a nest in here.
Propeller
So
spinner, not damaged, securely mounted, air intake
Yep.
free.
you protect it with those cowl plugs while it's parked. But you better take them out when you fly, otherwise you're going to overheat and blow
Nose
up your engine.
wheel, tire pressure okay, shock absorber all right, strut not damaged.
All good. All good. So we checked the prop, we checked the nose cone, we checked the front wheel
Remove
and
the
landing
wheel
gear,
chocks.
and we're removing the wheel chocks. Yeah.
You have to check if the fuel is contaminated with water. Take a fuel sample.
All right.
To prevent the engine from failing, the fuel must not contain any water. You have to take a sample of the fuel.
So this is not a glitch. This is because there are 2 tanks. We tested the right one before, and now we're testing the left one. So we're doing the same thing. Make sure we do it twice. Make sure we do it right.
If the sample is light blue, the fuel isn't contaminated and you can return it to the tank. If
Yeah.
it's transparent, it's contaminated. You have to discard it.
We are
The
good to
fuel
go.
is light blue. You can return the sample to the tank.
There we go.
Left main wheel, tire pressure okay, no leaking brake fluid.
Cool. I think-
Remove the pita tube cover. To enable the airspeed indicator to show something, you have to remove the pita tube cover.
The pitot tube takes in air, and it's got this little hole in the end. So
Remove the left tie down.
bees could move in and make a
You
a
have
nest
to
or
remove the tie
pack it
down,
with
or you
mud. So
can't
you
fly
gotta
away.
like close it when you're parked, but you gotta remove it when you want to
Landing
fly.
lights are okay.
So you can see, we are actually going around the entire airplane to make sure that everything that is supposed to be here is really here and that it's all correct. I think we're in good shape here.
Left wing, not damaged. Strobe and red nav light okay. Wingtip okay. Left aileron, check for freedom of movement by clicking on it.
Now, I can tell you,
We finished our inspection round. Open the door.
when I flew, I did that just a
Open the
slight
door.
difference. We left the battery on,
Close
and we
the door.
left the nav lights on. That way, when we went out, we actually could
Close the
see
door.
if the red light was lit and the green light was lit, right? Rather than this one is...
Perfect. You're finished. The aircraft is in a good condition, and you're ready to start the engine.
Yeah, it's not doing that. You could easily have no damage, but the bulb is burned out. So that's it. We finished this tutorial. We've done our pre-flight check. We don't need to do another tutorial. This thing is all good. Next time, I think we'll do startup. And I will see, we'll walk through the steps for starting an engine. Again, it's not like your car. You don't just hop in and turn the key. You've got magnetos. You've got a lot of things to check. So there is a procedure for it, and we will follow it. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you had a little bit of fun. I hope it's maybe motivated some folks to give it a try. Maybe you want to see another video or two before you jump in for yourself. I'm all on board with that. But let's go. Let's see where we end up. It'll be a fun ride, and I'm glad you're joining me.